All right, so with all those overtime hours, Rhonda's buying the beer today. Morning, everybody. Morning, Bite. How are you, huh? All right, Rhonda's confirming the beer's on her. Hey, Eric, how you doing? Yeah, everybody act normal, which means act like a crazy person that you normally are. I know I am. What? You want the kitty treats, don't you? Better dish them out now before you go back into your room and take a nap. That's how it always works. Should be outside pulling weeds. Yeah, that's no fun. Just getting up for the day. That's a good way to start off a day. Sleep half of it away. What is it they say? Sleep all day, party all night. Yeah, I decided to try the pickled okra and see how that works. I mean, it's all right. It's probably not something I would do regular. I think in my case, okra is going to have to be something that's an ingredient in something else. I don't know if it stands up by itself that well, but I don't know. We'll see. You know, sometimes when you pickle things, they get better with time too. Because I think sometimes it takes a little while for the juices to permeate the okra, and sometimes the flavor of whatever you're pickling to kind of leach into the juice. I discovered that with the jalapenos I pickled last year. Well, all it is really is just get the water hot enough to sanitize the whatever it is that you're sanitizing. I started off with clean jars. You know, they'd all been through the dishwasher just on a normal cleaning cycle. But this just kind of, you know, the only thing that sanitizes is that's just hitting it with really, really, really hot water. And that can you know, just takes cooking it real hot to get it there, heating that water up. How's my mom doing? My mom's doing good. She had a visit from her brother and her brother's daughter, her niece. Um, last week sometime. Had a good time, I guess. They went over to the Folsom prison, but unfortunately, I guess everything was closed. I don't know. You remember when I went there, I couldn't get into the Johnny Cash Museum. I guess it wasn't open then either. But I watched Devil in Ohio on Netflix. No, I haven't. I guess a new season of Cobra Kai is up. I haven't looked at that either. But with that, I think what I got to do is I got to wait until, um, you know, I want to watch the whole thing again so I can pick up the story exactly where it was. It's been, you know, 6 or 8 months since I watched that last. Do I use rubber seals on the jars? There are rubber seals on the jars, so yes, I use them. My mom was talking about how maybe there's some rain coming through. Let's see if there. She sent me her text blast last night, so let's look at the weather and see what's going on there and see if they're actually getting some rain. We're not getting any here, I'll tell you that. Oh yeah, there's a little bit going their way. I don't see any in the area immediately, but there is definitely some rain kind of coming in. They may get a little, I don't know, it looks like it's kind of fizzling as it comes ashore. So, my mom is a little bit over on this side of Sacramento. And so you can kind of see the rain coming in, but as it moves towards them, it looks like it's kind of fizzling. So I don't know, maybe not. My mom was hoping so much to get some rain, but I don't know at this point. That wouldn't be my prediction. Well, Folsom Prison basically has one real claim to fame, and that is that Johnny Cash performed there. And so there's a big kind of important part of the story, and there's a museum on the property. I've been there, I saw it before. It was actually kind of cool. I wish I could have gotten in and vlogged it. No, I didn't catch Anne Heche's movie. The air conditioning's doing all right. The guy says that he was concerned that it wasn't putting out enough cold air, um, but it's keeping the house comfortable. So I guess we'll just let it be for a while, see what happens. At least I know what it can do, and I know what to expect from price if I have to do it. If I have to have the free on recharge, it'll be about $300. So, what we'll play it by ear and see what happens. Yeah, you saw on the news, Northern California will get a lot of rain. Yeah, I mean there is kind of central California. There's some rain going on right now, but it looks like it's weakening as it goes north. So I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, I noticed that here sometimes too, Rhonda. I'll see a storm coming in, and it just seems like as it's coming to Waco, it spreads out and misses us, and then that's the end of it. Eric's waiting for the Monsters reboot. I have no interest in that. Reboots are just don't do it for me. I don't think he was ever an inmate in Folsom. I think he just chose that prison to perform at because nobody'd done it before. I never got into Mad Men. I tried. Everyone was talking about it. I tried watching it. Watched a few of them. Just wasn't into the concept. I think I'm not really adventuresome when it comes to new TV shows. I dumped my TV, about a year ago, and so basically all I get now is if it comes through Netflix or I got the Paramount Plus app, just because I'm such a Star Trek nerd, and they got Beavis and Butthead. So what more could you want, right? Yeah, well, if you're watching it for research, then you know what, that's cool. I'm not telling people don't watch it. I just say I'm not gonna. There's no way you could be able to match up to the original. The original was just amazing. They made Mad Men Barbies. Awesome. They make everything into a Barbie today, don't they? Well, I can't argue with people who like to watch streaming services. Yeah, you're welcome, Logan. I hope you had a great birthday. Logan turned 4 last week. She mentioned that on the Facebook page. Well, Logan's mother mentioned it, honestly. You know what? Whatever. If Mattel or Mattel makes Barbie, right? If Mattel thinks that there's a market in, other Barbies, of other characters, so be it. There seems to be. Rhonda is a huge Barbie collector, so I'm sure whichever, she'll probably get one, whatever it is. I've seen the pictures. It's insane. I had breakfast burritos this morning. You're a little late. I always eat before the live stream. Yeah, Mattel used to have a factory near where I live in California, where I lived when I was a kid. We'd drive by it on the freeway. My sister would always have an argument because there'd be a sign outside and say Mattel and it'd say the home of Barbie or the home of Hot Wheels, and we'd always argue. It's like, no, it's the home of Hot Wheels. No, it's the home of Barbie. That doesn't surprise me at all. There's going to be a Queen doll. Get more than your fair share of Barbies and 3 daughters who have no interest in them at all. Yeah. Well, that means that you won't have to worry about them playing with them and ruining them. You only had Barbies. Well, I mean, I think when I was a kid, there weren't really different characters as Barbies. It was Barbie, it was Malibu Barbie, and it was whatever all the rest of them were. But it was always Barbie at the center. Rhonda's going to post pictures of her Barbies. Yeah, because she sent me a couple pictures over the years, and you can see the Barbies on the wall. She's got like shelves with Barbies on them. She's a true collector. She is to Barbie what I am to Guy to Buy Voices. You're not a ventriloquist dummy fan, huh? Probably don't like Jeff Dunham then, huh? And you're also a Pennywise collector. That's awesome. You got to put them on the shelves next to each other. That'd be really funny. Barbie Pennywise, Barbie Pennywise, Barbie Pennywise. Or you have all the Pennywise on the lower shelves because they all float down there. You have a talking Pennywise. Awesome. Have I seen the trailer to the new Mermaid, Little Mermaid? No, no. I have no interest in that. That's another one of these woke things here. And this idea of swapping the gender of every character and then remaking it, it's just, I don't know. It doesn't work for me. I mean, what would we do? What would happen if they remake Pocahontas with Jennifer Lawrence in the lead role? Come on. Hey, Spaniel Mom, how you doing? Much more comfortable saying that name. Yeah, this is the first time we've had Rhonda in here for a few weeks. Yeah, the poster collection was basically most of it was gathered over about a 4 year period. It started out, I've kind of told this story before, but it was my friend Matt, the guy who does Island Horizon videos, the stuff you see running in the background there. He got me into them initially. He got bored over in Hawaii because there wasn't much of a music scene over there. And so he started, subscribing to like little underground rock magazines. And one of them he subscribed to started talking about this band called Guided by Voices. He started looking them up, and he got into them, and he tried to get me into them. And then he moved back to California and brought me to a few shows. And I really didn't get it initially. And after a while, about the fourth or fifth show, I really kind of clicked. At that point, I didn't know the music that well, and there was so much that it was hard to, Guided by Voices is one of those bands you got to listen to the music over and over again before you really start to get it. And I wasn't getting that repetition that I needed to start understanding it. And I think Matt picked up on that because all of a sudden one Christmas he got me a Guided by Voices album. And I started listening to that album, and I said, okay, all right, I get where you're going with this. Uh, where should I go next? And he made other suggestions. And then there was another show that came up. And at that point, I really got into the music because I knew the songs. And before I went to that show, I wanted to buy a poster and get the band to autograph it. Because one of the things I'd noticed at the shows I'd been to is that the band was really accessible. They'd hang out in front of the club afterwards and talk to their fans and stuff like that. So I figured, I want an autograph of the band. And so I bought a poster. And matter of fact, let's see. I think it's, hang on a second, I'll show you the one. It was, it was this poster here. I bought that one on eBay. Let's get so you can see it here without all the glare. I bought that one on eBay, and I was going to have the band sign it. And Matt said, "No, you can't have that. That's from 1997. It was an entirely different band in those days. And the people who played at that show, aren't the same people who are in the band now." So I went and got another poster, just a promotional poster for the latest album. Got him signed that. There was a funny story there too. I was too shy to go talk to the band, so I had Matt's wife Susan do it. She came back with a poster signed by every member of the band, and they personalized the poster to her. So it was like, "Susan, thanks for coming, Robert Pollard," and that kind of stuff. And so it's like, well, that wasn't really what I wanted out of out of a Guided by Voices poster. I ultimately ended up giving that poster to Susan anyway. So because I got so many more now that are autographed and stuff like that. But that was kind of a funny story. But that kind of got me into the serious collecting phase. You like the Pink Floyd T-shirt? Yeah, I thought, hey, I'm doing a live stream today. Let's wear Pink Floyd. Oh, that's the downside when you hire only kids. Eventually, they go back to school and you lose them. Hey, Mark, how you doing? No, I still haven't gotten any tomatoes. The plants are doing great, but I don't know. I do have one jalapeno coming up on one of the plants, so it's not going to be a total waste this year. What else do I collect? I mean, probably nothing as obsessively as the Guided by Voices stuff. I don't know if I can actually prove it, but I probably have the largest private Guided by Voices collection in the world. I mean, the stuff I've shown you, that's just a small part of it. Well, I think Matt would like to get as many subscribers as he can. I think he'd like to start making a little bit of money off of that. And, you know, I guess I had an advantage. I had a very popular vlogger who was supporting me and got me going because I mean I wouldn't be where I was, if it wasn't for, Jordan getting me going on this and promoting me and letting me use his resources to push the channel and nudging me along as I needed it. But Matt only has me, and unfortunately, I don't have as much pull as Jordan does. So I've done what I can. But yeah, those of you who aren't aware, go check out Matt's channel. It's a really cool uh, Hawaiian beach scenes, and I always have it running in the background on my live stream. So that's my way of at least helping him get some views because I just put it on play all mode while I'm doing the live stream and have really beautiful scenes in the background there. I've actually thought about getting like a flat screen TV and putting it up here and having, like a full high def TV broadcasting that. But definitely go over and subscribe to his channel. It's a good channel. He's got a lot of content. He's got more videos up now than I do. So it's called Island Horizon Videos. Check it out if you get a chance. I'm sure you'd appreciate it. And he loves it when people comment. So don't hesitate to do that. I think ultimately, and I've said this before, I think what that would be his perfect audience for that would be like people at work when they're not using their computer, they're doing something else. You put that on in the background, and it's just a very soothing image. And I think if and when it does take off, I think ultimately he's going to be glad that he has tons and tons and tons of content because he's probably got hundreds of hours of content up there. Because every video is like 20 minutes long. He's got, I don't know, 800, 900 videos up, something like that. It's supposed to be hot today in Waco. What genre of music? I assume you're talking Guided by Voices. It's kind of alternative indie rock. Sometimes referred to as lo-fi, but it's not lo-fi really anymore. It was lo-fi because a lot of the early albums were just recorded in his basement with a 4-track recorder or a boom box or stuff like that. Now he goes into the studio and the stuff is really, um, is really polished and well performed. He's got talented musicians. Before it was just his beer buddies, and so you hear mistakes, you hear all sorts of stuff like that. In fact, some of the mistakes just kind of become classic, and when they play them live, the person who's playing those parts now has to play the mistake, which is kind of funny. But one of the things that's amazing about Guided by Voices, it's all a guy named Robert Pollard. He's the central figure in all of it. He's the only constant throughout the entire life of the band. It's different members, different people in and out. They're his friends or just people he collaborates with or stuff like that. But he's just a really prolific music writer, and he's got thousands and thousands and thousands of songs. People, they think Bob Dylan, they think, when you think of prolific musicians, they think, Bob Dylan's like, no, Robert Pollard is 20 Bob Dylans. Yeah, the idea of putting the videos like that in like dentist offices, that's a great idea too, because that that's people are really tense when they're in the dentist office. So something just cool like that running on the screen. And the beauty is, like I said, with this stuff, you can just press play all at the beginning of the shift or beginning of the day and just run through the whole thing. I got to figure out what that acronym is. I've seen that one before, but I don't know what it means. Okay, yeah, I guess that's would be an appropriate thing too. We're actually getting some rain there. Where is there, Gene? Sorry, I don't have a photographic memory where everyone lives. I'm sure you mentioned it. Looking for a good Texas beer. There's a couple local breweries in Waco that I like that I've visited a couple times. The Bear Arms Brewery, which I think is my favorite. They've got some good stuff, but I like the fact that it's a small little microbrew. It is literally the definition of the microbrew. If you watch my video when I went there, they gave me a tour of the brew room, and it's a little more than a garage, but they've got stuff in, and they're brewing beer, and they got 18 or 20 different things on tap at all times. You can find something good there. And Brotherwell Brewery was pretty good too. I've been there once or twice. But there's actually several breweries in town which are pretty cool. I know more breweries in Waco than I did in Southern California. So in Brentwood, okay, I know where Brentwood is. Bob often described his music as adhering to the four P's of rock. And that's pop, punk, progressive, and psychedelic. And so that's it's so it's you'll hear a lot of references from like the Who and progressive bands like Genesis and early Genesis. I mean, not the Phil Collins Genesis, the Peter Gabriel Genesis. King Crimson, you'll hear a lot of that. He's hugely influenced by bands like that, but he also likes the punk movement and was into stuff like the Beatles and the Who and the Stones and that stuff. So it was his generation. It was the music he grew up on. Yeah, autonomous sensory meridian response. Right, I've seen the term before. I didn't remember what it was. I had to look it up, but that's what I saw too. Can I calculate how much money I make from the ads during live streams? Well, what it does, YouTube will give me a page that I can look at where it tells me how much money I make per day, and that's everything. So, if somebody is watching, like for instance, last night's video today, that will count today. Ad revenue from today will count for today on the live stream and on playback for today when I finally put this video up. And also, if I get any super chats or something like that, that will also be reflected. I do get actually a lot of views from the live streams and a little bit of revenue too. So what I'll look at is there'll be like a day-to-day graph that shows what I'm doing, and invariably there'll be a spike on Sundays when I do a live stream. So it'll be, up and down, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday there'll be a spike, and then it'll go back, Monday through Saturday, and another spike on Sundays. So I don't know. A lot of people watch these, and maybe it's just the fact that the live streams are 2 hours long, and so you tend to maybe see more ads than you do on a video that I might do that's only 8, 10, 12 minutes long. So that probably is part of it, because I don't really believe that very many people, if anyone, my mom is probably an exception, but I doubt very many people actually watch the live stream start to finish, either in the live format or on playback. I guess they just kind of check in from time to time and, stay in for a while and go from there. I don't know if you're watching the whole thing, that's great. The girls watch over and over and over. Okay, well, that's probably part of it. You have to excuse me for a second. I realized when I started the live stream, I didn't bring the vodka out of the freezer, so I better get it or it's going to freeze solid. Hang on a second. Getting to the point where I need a little water. But I think it's going to probably be a little while before I get it because it's frozen. I don't know how thick down it is. I'm going to try and break through the ice. Oh, I broke through it. It's not that thick. I can get at it. I'll live. Yep, vodka time. You don't know if you see the ice on the top there. Probably a quarter of an inch thick right along the edges. You got a couple of breweries in Vermont that make whiskey and vodka. That's cool. I'd like to go see a brewery like that. Really, just something other than beer. I mean, I really like beer, but it'd be fun to kind of see all that done. Hi, Charlotte and Logan. I don't know, is Jessica there too? I can't leave her out. Oh yeah, that's part of the reason I do it. I actually like it when there's a thin layer of ice on top of the water because it stays cold longer. I also like this glass because this glass is like 3/8 of an inch thick, and so the glass itself acts like a great insulator. It helps keep the water cold. Well, and that's proof that it's water and not vodka, because vodka doesn't tend to freeze. Look at that! Wow, I just pulled that out of the inner edge of the. It went all the way down the side. I didn't even know it went down like that. That's wild. Interesting. Ain't physics grand? Oh, so Jessica's not there today. Okay. Her birthday's on the 26th. All right. Happy birthday, Jessica. Oh, okay. Rhonda thinks she is watching now. All right. So hi, Hi, Jessica. I hope you have a happy birthday coming up in a few days. That's exciting. Charlotte turns 5 on October 14th. Okay. Close to Halloween. Fun. I'd love to have a Halloween birthday. Let's just say my birthday parties would be off the hook. I love it that you guys sit and talk to each other. That's awesome. Gives me a chance to drink my vodka. Got to be careful though. The ice is right up on the top now, so I'm gonna push that in a little bit so I can. Yeah, literally off the hook. I'm gonna lean back here a little bit. Bring you in a little closer. I can lean back and protect my back a little bit. You replanted all your plants because of toxic twins. Yeah, fortunately, my cats haven't. I only have that one indoor plant, that one that I bought as a little leaf cutting from California. The only thing that survived the trip from California, and it's growing really well now. It's probably got a branch reaching out probably 3 feet away from it. I'm gonna have to move it somewhere at some point. One of the things I noticed about those things is that they're really prolific. They get in a good growing environment and they will grow like you can't believe. That was something I had growing under the patio cover in my house in California. And it was just something I didn't know what to do with. It was a house plant that literally my mom had given me when I moved into my apartment. And somehow the entire time I lived in the apartment, I managed to keep it alive and brought it with me to the house in California and kept it alive there, but didn't know what to do with it. So I said, okay, well, I got the patio cover. Let's just plant it in the back behind everything and see what happens. Well, it just thrived there. In fact, it did so well, it basically choked out everything else in there. You think of those leaves, you think maybe, they're going to be like the size of an apple or something like that. Those leaves will get this big in the right environment. And that plant produced leaves that were that big. So it was insane. Like I said, it just literally choked out everything. Well, no, I don't. I don't wear them for close-up stuff. I still use these for close-up, but I am using the new glasses. Just I don't wear them all the time. I'm wearing them when I'm driving. I'm wearing them at work when I need to see things at distance. But for the most part, um, I'm doing all right now. I do like the new glasses much better, and I'm glad I did the change. Yeah, I mean, I could probably do that. I probably could talk to the people at the gardening store that I bought the tomatoes from too. I'm sure they'd know maybe more even than the Home Depot people would. I don't know. I did all right with tomatoes last year. They just didn't do anything this year. Maybe when we try in next year, we'll talk to them and say, "Hey, what do you recommend?" I didn't get anything last year. Pineapple, that'd be fun to grow too. I got every time I pull the laptop a little closer to me, the power supply for the laptop gets dragged a little bit. So yeah, I don't think it would have been a problem with the progressive lenses, except for the fact that you know I said it on the video. I kind of shift my eyes a little bit and look out of the side of the lens. And when you look out of the side of the lens, the progressive lenses it gets blurry. If they could make it so it stay clear all the way to the edges, that was my problem. I could deal with this if I have to see things at distance. But I mean, part of the thing here is the premise of the progressive lens is that you're looking down when you're reading, and so this part of the lens is a part that's designed for the reading. Well, I don't do that. I'm usually at a computer and I'm looking straight on, like like you see me now, and my eyes are right in the center of the lens, and that's not the optimal lens for the distance I'm doing. So I find I have to do this, and that kind of kinks up my neck. So I don't think it was a matter of me not getting used to it. I didn't like it. I had problems with glasses at the beginning too. When I was a kid, my parents would like get me, sunglasses when we'd go somewhere, and I didn't like them either. But I got used to them, and they don't bother me anymore. And I actually do like the new distance glasses I have. It helps a lot in terms of seeing. I'm sometimes doing this just to, remind myself how much of a difference there is. Because I'll look at something, it's like, wow, that's a long ways away, and it's really clear. And I go like that. It's like, oh yeah, that's what I used to live with. So I'm very happy with them. I do like the transition lenses, just not into the progressive lenses. Yeah, it's always hard when you have to lose a dog or any kind of pet. I've had dogs and cats all my life, and unfortunately, I've had to put them all down. That's the hardest thing you have to do. It ruins your day because there's so many great memories with them. But yeah, Bite's sort of that way too, Yvonne. He'll come up and sit on my lap when I'm watching TV. All right, let me get this thing a little closer here so I can reach the vodka here. Oh, I think dogs and cats understand more than we think they do. I mean, Bite definitely knows his name, because he'll be lurking around when I'm watching TV, and I'll say Bite, and he'll turn and look at me. He knows who he is. He knows what his name is. Oh, there's Nibble. I see Nibble lurking out there, peering around the corner here. Let's see if we can capture an image of Nibble there. There she is, right there, peering around the corner, lurking. Let's see if we can give her a kitty treat. My backhand usually isn't so good, so I usually end up hitting the wall. But that one made it. That one right in front of her and scared her back into her room. That's not how that's supposed to work. Oh, there she is. Come out for some more. Oh, Bite heard the kitty treat, so he wants. Where's mine? You're so rude. I hope maybe I could coax her out, but instead we just got Bite. So Nibble has left the building. Yep, that's your cat, Logan. Spaniel mom likes cats, but she's petrified of them. That's why the dogs, huh? Yvonne loves pitties, huh? Pit bulls are great dogs. They get a bad rap, but usually when you have a problem with a pit bull, it isn't the dog itself, but the owner. Yeah, I suppose that the glasses that they made that they put candles in would be good thick glasses because you got to, when you're going to have that close to flame, you got to have it thick enough, or else the heat will cause the glass to shatter. Never thought about that though. That's a good idea. I don't think zoo is the word, Rhonda. I think the word you mean is menagerie. Yeah, dogs and cats are both great. I mean, if I was home more, I'd have a dog. I just don't. I don't think it would be fair for a dog to, either be trapped in the house for 12 and a half hours every day all by itself, or locked in the backyard in the Texas heat all day. Dogs are very sociable animals, and more so than cats. I think cats are pretty independent. Oh yeah, birds, but yeah, parrots especially. I'd love to get a parrot again. I had a parrot when I was younger. Not really a parrot; it was a conure. Good for planters too. Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, that's sort of what I think, and I don't think it'd be fair to a dog uh, to, like I said, leave it alone all day. And even when I come home, I'm tired after a 12 and a half hour day. I don't know, I'd be, good about going out and giving the dog a little exercise and all that. Yeah, exactly, Yvonne. That's what it is with bite and nibble. They're pretty quiet during the day. I suspect they probably sleep the whole day. Yeah, nibble's sort of that way too, Rhonda. I don't know what they went through, but you know, Nibble never recovered from it. She's a sweet little kitty, and she is mellowing a little bit as she gets older. She will sometimes. All right, I can just tell that's going in an awkward direction here. Yeah, I saw the one that got blocked. Yeah, that was a good decision to make that one go away. Happy birthday, Spaniel Mom. Yeah, I didn't understand the reference either. I honestly thought it was just trying to be obscene. There's some play on soccer mom. but I do like the new handle better. I can at least say Spaniel Mom and not feel like, oh, this is supposed to be sort of a G-rated show here. Something you can bring the family on and not have to worry about it, hearing something you don't want the little ones saying. And when we've got Charlotte and Logan here, we can't be saying things like that. Bad enough I'm drinking vodka on the air, right? Yeah, well, Nibble and Bite were 5 weeks old when I got them. So whatever happened in those first 5 weeks, they must have been really traumatic. How's Flash? Flash is doing good. I'm still having to look for her sometimes, but I usually find her each night now. So I'm kind of learning where her common places are. So, and now that I got rid of that brush pile in the back there, there's not that issue anymore. Work's going good. Yeah, work's going good. I am happy there. I love the fact that they're giving me opportunities to learn all sorts of new things. That keeps it interesting. I won't deny that I have a dirty mind, and sometimes I'll try and push the limit a little bit with some subtle little innuendo. But I do recognize that, and I try and keep it you know G-rated if possible. Would I ever consider buying an electric car or a hybrid? Um, there's all sorts of issues I have with electric cars. It's I don't think it's going to be a sustainable thing. The batteries are horrendously expensive. They don't last forever. The materials to make the batteries are only available in, let's see, not so friendly countries. There's a limited supply of the batteries, and I don't want to have to spend between $7,000 and $30,000 when the battery dies. Yeah, we don't badmouth Jordan here. Sorry. In addition, with the electric vehicles, our power grid can't handle the power we have now. What are we going to do when everyone's plugging their cars in all night? They're already telling people in California, "Hey, don't plug your car in tonight." It's like you're forcing us to buy these things, but now we can't. Now we can't. Charge them. That was a waste of money. Yeah, that's true, Yvonne. That's another point. You're not really as green as you think because it's coal and fossil fuels that are creating that electricity. I think they should have a rule that if you're going to be truly call yourself a green energy user by driving a electric car, that car needs to be powered by wind or solar. But that's not going to happen. 80% of our power comes from fossil fuels and coal, like Yvonne said. You had a parakeet named Beep, or your mom had a parakeet named Beep. That's a great name. I had parakeets when I was a kid too. Yeah, but you're not allowed to use nuclear. Nuclear doesn't count. That's the greenest, most energy efficient way of creating power there is, but can't do that. It's funny. One of the excuses they use is like, "What do you do with the spent reactors? Like, what are you going to do with the spent batteries from the electric cars?" Thanks for stopping in, Tracy. Good talking to you. Did you learned a lot about bags since you went bag free at work? Yeah. Well, honestly, I heard that, and I haven't confirmed this myself, but I heard that California is having so many energy issues right now that they've actually discontinued their plans to shut down their last functioning nuclear reactor because they need the power. Hey, Jeff, how you doing, buddy? Okay, so I should have talked to Jeff because he can't see because he's just reading the comments, or he can't hear because he's just reading the comments. So as far as Jeff is concerned, I'm just staring at the camera and moving my lips. That's a joke for Jeff, by the way. Jeff is listening. Okay, that's good. So maybe you didn't get that joke of me going. Yeah, that's exactly what I said, Rhonda. You got me. It ain't a live stream until Jeff shows up. Here's some cooking with a kid trivia for those of you who probably been here from the beginning. What was it that Jeff's channel was originally called? I thought it was an awesome name. I laughed when I heard it the first time, but I guess I understand why you changed it. Who remembers what that was? Today's trivia question. No one? Close, Gene. Very close. It was actually kids smoking in the backyard. Because at that time, a lot of times he was just doing videos on the smoker. And so that was a very clever title. Well, I think it was also a takeoff on the song Smoking in the Bathroom or Smoking in the Boys' Room from like the 70s. But just because of the last name, I can understand why there'd be an issue. It's like, wait, there's kids smoking in the backyard? That's not a good idea. We can't be encouraging that. Nice, working on another short film. Good. Keep it coming. Next, Steven Spielberg here. Crazy dog sat on the remote and paused the live stream. That's awesome. Yeah, that's probably a good point too, John. Probably the last thing you want a pastor to be doing is promoting kids smoking. Because while most people are going to get it because of his, going to understand the joke because of his last name, there's going to be somebody that's not, and they're going to get offended. You did that the other day with the TV and the freeze button. You couldn't figure out what happened. Yeah, that's funny. I'll let that one slide just because. When will I visit Jordan? I've been thinking I got to do that. I got vacation time. I could do it. I'm figuring in his case, I'll just fly to his place, and I could probably just make it so I take I could just take like my short week off, my 3-day week off, and take the weekend before it, the weekend after it, and get a whole like 10 days out of that. Amigo learned to sit. Good boy, Amigo. It'd be kind of interesting though to go to Jordan's place because I'm not going to probably be able to go anywhere and do anything because Jordan is kind of keeping it quiet where he lives. But so it's not like I'm going to go to his house and then go to some tourist attraction and it's like, oh, okay, Jordan lives here, whatever. Yeah, I remember that. That was the trivia question, Jeff. And we were debating that because that would not have been an appropriate. I mean, I thought it was funny. It was incredibly hilarious and incredibly clever, but I could understand how somebody might be offended. Yeah, we've had oddballs on here. Well, oddball, it's the same person. If it was just a random thing where trolls just let's go find and they do it once and they're done, then there'd be like a troll on every live stream. But the fact that it's that many live streams never happen at all, and then others you get 3 or 4 or 5 of them, it's the same person who just has a whole bunch of different identities. Someone just bought him a huge box of treats today. Lucky dog. Well, I mean, I was concerned about Jordan early on, and I'll say this now because he doesn't live there anymore. But that apartment that he lived in, he gave way too much information about where he lived. If you really thought about it, you could figure out exactly what building he was in, what floor he lived on, and within 1 or 2 units where he lived. So I'm glad he's gone the other extreme now and not even tell people what state he's in. That's a smart move because there's a lot of weirdos out there. Most of the weirdos are just content being weirdos online, but every once in a while, you're going to get some weirdo that becomes obsessed and say, I'm going to go to his house. I mean, that's what happened. Some weirdo showed up at Justice Brett Kavanaugh's house. Yeah, Rebecca Schaefer is another example. Good one, Yvonne. Right. I remember when that happened. Yeah, I know. That was really sad about Amy. I liked Amy. A lot of people liked Amy. I really wish I'd gotten a chance to meet her because she seemed like a really extraordinary person. And they just played off of each other really well. Jordan is a great guy. He's been one of my best friends for a long time. Yeah, you're crazy, not weird. That's fine. We're all crazy. I'm crazy. Yeah, I'm sort of that way too, Yvonne. That's why it was so hard for me to get into doing this because this is just it is not consistent with my personality. I'm a very quiet person, and I guess I convinced myself that I'm still being an introvert because it's just me, and I'm the only one here, and there's nobody else here. I can be all by myself and do my thing, and but you see, if you met me in person, I probably wouldn't be as talkative as I am here. I kind of got to carry the conversation because this is a live stream, and and you guys kind of steer the conversation the way things are going by the questions you ask. But yeah, and I've said this before too. The regulars they're on here, the ones that are here every week, the names that I see every week or every 2 weeks or something like that. There isn't a one of you that I wouldn't invite to my house. But I got to worry about that one person in 1,000 that I don't want showing up at my house. Thanks for stopping in, Jeff. It was good to spend a little time with you. I'm assuming you're going off to lunch now. It usually happens about this time. Yeah, I totally can see that, Rhonda, that you're a talker. Yeah, at this point, it makes sense to be cautious, and that it isn't crazy, it isn't irrational. You got to do that. Jeff's coming by one day. Yeah, yeah. You said you're going to come to Waco. Love to meet up with you. It is. I mean, I'm talking to every one of you, Connie. That's I think what makes this kind of really cool. We're just having a conversation. Yeah, I think Jordan did have a meetup. I saw something about that. My mom is definitely more of an extrovert than my extrovert than either my dad or I are. That's probably why they want you to come in all the time, Rhonda. You're carrying the business. It's time to ask for a raise. Yeah, I saw something about that too, about changing the date for the meetup. It start a GoFundMe. Help the kids get to Waco. I wouldn't say a small family. I'd say we're a pretty big family. Yeah, I think I'm sort of the same way, Yvonne. I much rather do things on my own than go out and do things with people. We'll definitely have to meet up, Jeff, because I'll show you around and show you some of the cool things in Waco. See you next time, Jeff. Art and caps. That sounds like a good life. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way, DNA. The line when I work a line at work, I'm generally in there with somebody else, but because it's kind of necessary, because sometimes you need two people on the line. But I'm not a very talkative person when I'm there. I do actually enjoy being by myself. Yeah, that is sort of important as a nurse, I think, Kathy. Yeah, I do like the new glasses. I'm not wearing them all the time, but I wear them when I drive. I like that a lot. I wear them sometimes at work when I have to see things at distance. But the truth is, actually, my mid-range vision, maybe a little further than I am from the computer now, uh, is actually better without either of the glasses. So, if I'm looking at something 3 or 4 feet away from me, that's too close for the long range glasses. The long range glasses aren't very good until you get out past about 10 feet. And these glasses are, basically out of their range when you get about 18 inches away from something. So, the difference between this and this is the image is very clear, but here it's already starting to get fuzzy because I'm moving out of the range of these glasses. That's sort of why, if you look at me right now, I've got the TV tray that has the laptop on it right up against the couch, and the laptop is actually hanging off the TV tray about 4 inches. So I can tip it down. So no, I can't tip it down that far. I don't want to. I don't want to close it all the way, or it'll shut down the live stream. But the laptop is hanging about that far off of the TV tray towards me, so I can get it close to me, so I can lean against the thing and still be close enough to see stuff. Yeah, I'm the same way, Yvonne. I can take people or leave people. You guys are all cool. I don't have a problem with you, but oh yeah, I have a number of friends at work. Yeah, and probably the reason that is, Rhonda, is you kind of get it out of your system at work, and then at that point you get home and you're kind of spent. I get that too. Yeah, I don't know what it is. If it's it's probably just your eyes kind of age, and that's probably what it is. But I noticed that my distance vision has gotten really bad in the last couple of years. So I guess I'm lucky I made it this far into my life. Yeah, I'm not in contact with anyone in high school. You know, as soon as like 3 or 4 years out of high school, I'd broken contact with everybody. I wasn't really happy in high school anyway, so it was one of those things that I choose not to dwell on much. It's funny when I was working at Disneyland, I crossed paths with somebody I went to school with in high school. Somebody I didn't even really like at the time, but we kind of became friends when we were at Disney together. But that was just a chance thing. I stumbled upon him, and that could have happened anyway. But that's one of those things. When you're in a small geographic area, you're likely to cross paths with people you know. Happens more here too in Texas because it's a smaller geographic area. Everybody kind of knows everybody. Yeah, I just didn't have a whole lot of friends in high school. Kind of made me who I was. You work with criminals, so not that much socializing. That's probably a good idea. You talk and carry on with customers so much they nominated you Employee of the Month. That's awesome. Congratulations. Now I agree with you, John. No toxic people. There's enough of that in the world. Yeah, I can't say I've met any people that I know at HEB. I've run into people I know at HEB, but Well, I mean, I had a few friends in high school. It's just, I lost track of them. And while I have friends, from like Disneyland and stuff like that, there's a few of them that I still, follow and that. But for the most part, I've broken off most contact with Disneyland. What was I in the band? Yeah, I was in the band in high school. Now I can't. Now you can't shut you up, huh? Yeah, I hear it. I hear you. Yeah, it's sort of the same here, Yvonne. In terms of being a loner, but reaching out to other people and you know, being there for them. Sometimes that's something you just got to go out of your comfort zone. Gene's checking out. Thanks for stopping in, Gene. Good seeing you. I always joke with people when they come up with a cake, say, "Can I help you eat it in the car?" Why wait till you get to the car? It's right there, Rhonda. You just got to have a fork right there at the cash register. Yeah, yeah, Beth. But I don't know Beth from high school. Beth was born the year I went to high school, or the year I graduated from high school. She's a lot younger than I am. I knew her because her family lived in the house directly behind mine that I grew up in. Yeah, I wasn't very comfortable speaking in public. I do better with that now. I've gotten used to it because I've had to do it enough times. When I was working at the CD factory, I didn't like talking to people on the phone, and that was a bad thing for me because I was the help desk. So I got to the point where I had to talk to people on the phones, and I dreaded it the first times I had to do it. But you did it, you get over it, and it's like, okay, I can do this. And I guess I like knowing that, I can help somebody with a problem. And so, it helps you get past your fears a little bit if you can, you know, realize that you're helping them and that they appreciate what you're doing. Yeah, I have one of those pocket knives that has a built-in fork and a built-in spoon. It was part of my Boy Scout stuff. Your spoon is in the car. Well, that explains why you want to go out to the car then. But you might get some more offers if you actually had that spoon right there at the cash register. I'm just saying. Yeah, I would suppose if you're an introvert and kind of talk to kids a lot, it can be different talking to adults. I can totally understand that. Yeah, painter is a good job for if you just want to be by yourself too. I agree. So every once in a while I miss a comment and I'm just looking back and Rhonda's is one of Rhonda's comments. I sometimes even talk in my sleep. That's funny. You know you're a talker when you talk in your sleep. I could conceivably go vlog the Texas coast area. That's a long ways away, but and I've mentioned it before that the idea of when I drove to California, the idea of driving somewhere, to do something, that's a little bit more in the realm of possibility because I realized, I could do a 500-mile trip, to some place. You drive it one day, spend a couple of days there, drive back, and do that during my weekend. So that is actually an option. Haven't really thought that much about going down to the coast, but it definitely opens up the range. It basically puts the entire state of Texas and parts of Oklahoma and parts of Louisiana within my one-day drive to limit. I sleepwalk off and on. The funny thing is, as an adult, I realize that I'm sleepwalking. I'm aware that I'm doing it and I'll remember it the next day. A lot of people, when I was a kid and I sleptwalked, I didn't remember it. My parents would say, "Oh yeah, you were sleepwalking last night. You came into our room." It's like, really? I don't remember that. What happened? It's like, yeah, you just stood there and and we asked, "What did you want?" And they said, "Oh," and I said, "I don't know." And they said, "Well, maybe you should go back to bed." And I said, "Okay." And that was it. I don't remember, but I remember doing it now. And it's funny because I'll remember doing it and I'll remember that I have like no mental capacity at all. And so I'll get up, I'll realize I'm up, my brain isn't switched on, and I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know why I'm up. And so I'll just kind of work my way back to bed. But that hasn't happened in a while. They found you one night, middle of winter, t-shirt, no shoes, walking it up the street. See, that can be a little scary. When I sleptwalked, I always stayed in the house. So, and when I sleptwalked, when I lived in the house in California, I never even went downstairs. So that was weird. I think you went out one night because your grandma secured the screen door in the back. Yeah, that's possible. No, it's very casual dress where I work. Jeans and a t-shirt. Basically, the only rule is long as the t-shirt isn't obscene. I mean, that was one of the questions I asked when I interviewed, and then I noticed that the guy I was interviewing with, the guy who ultimately became my boss, he was just wearing ratty old jeans and t-shirt. So my kind of job. You were a female Huck Finn type, huh? Interesting. I didn't know they had medications for sleepwalking. Strange sleepwalking thing you did was getting up in the middle of the night, went into the kitchen and fed the cat. You didn't even have a cat. Yeah, okay, that's a little strange. You're a big ninny now, huh? Okay. I guess that's better than a little ninny, huh? Keep wondering if Bite and Nibble are going to make an appearance again, but I don't see them. Bite, Nibble. Oh, there he is. There's Bite. I thought I heard someone jump off a shelf. You want a kitty treat? Huh? I got kitty treats. You got to come closer. Yeah, there's the first one. Wow. You haven't eaten the one you're sitting on. You know you're sitting on one, right? I'm looking at it right now. No, not even gonna look for it. Is that how it is, huh? Maybe we can get you to run a little bit, burn off a little energy. There's two of them right next to each other now. You're gonna sit on one and eat the other? Is that how that's gonna work? Yeah, found one. There's one to your left. There's one right in front of you. Think you're about to find the one in front of you. Yeah, found the one in front of you. But what about the one that you forgot? There's still one you forgot. You gonna come take it? Yep. There it went. It's like Shamu lunging for a fish. Even got the markings of Shamu. All right. Let's get back to this here. Tip it up. There we go. Got to get the mouse over here. The mouse is so far away, I can't reach it. I've neglected you guys so much that some of the more recent comments have moved off the screen already. Your husband was very confused by the bowl of tuna on the floor. Yeah, I bet that's going to definitely freak somebody out. Oh, you guys are going to write a bedtime story with all of us in it. All right, that's cool. Interested in hearing that one. You'll have to send me a copy of it. Maybe I'll read it on the air. I haven't really noticed a cat food shortage, but I suppose that could happen too. It's not something really that's an issue here because they just eat dry food. I have, yeah, I have seen those. They're like hamster wheels for cats and dogs. Yeah, I'd get one of those in a second if I thought those two would use it, but they don't run around the house. I can't imagine them. In fact, I was just thinking about one of those things. How would you train the cat to do that? That didn't want to do it. And the only thing I figure is you lock them in there and put a motor on the thing that makes it spin, and they either end up spinning in it like a dryer, or they learn to walk. And then once you get them used to it, then you speed it up a little bit, make them run. I like those LED light strips. I think those are very cool. That's sort of what this thing is, although it's wires rather than a light strip. I know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think they're just taking after me. They're becoming more introverted as they get older. Bite came on the screen, and one of the twins is pawing at him. Huh? All right, Bite. You get a fan. Oh, he's back. I see you again. Yeah, I think a lot of times when people say that their cats or dogs are finicky, it's more because they've learned that if they don't eat something, that you'll stop trying to feed it to them. I think the issue is you got to show your pet who's boss. I'm going to buy something for you, and you eat it or you don't eat. You bought one of those stupid wiggly. I know exactly what you're talking about. I've seen those things too. They hated it, so you sent it to a friend. I don't eat at restaurants a whole lot, Spaniel Mom, but there's a place that I went and I vlogged it called Hellberg's Barbecue that is really, really good. I mean, there's several barbecues places. There's a place called Uncle Dan's Barbecue that I've been that's really good too. I vlogged that too. But Hellberg's Barbecue, kind of out towards Crawford, is really good. It's one of the best barbecue places I think I've run into. In fact, when Jordan was here last time, he said, "Hey, I'd like some barbecue. What do you recommend?" I said, "We're going to Hellberg's." And even he admitted it was really, really good barbecue. You had a treadmill and the cats used it. I think if I started with them when they were younger, but they're too old and fat now. Yeah, I agree, John. And that's sort of the approach I take with the cats. They're clearly not starving to death. So you eat what I provide for you, or you don't eat. You'll eat it eventually. I've never once tolerated them not eating what they're provided. Hey, Black Dot's here. See you next time, Mark. Thanks for stopping in. Good talking to you. So you call her dump truck. Will eat anything. Yeah. Yeah, I wish my cats would exercise a little bit more. I mean, they do run around a little bit, but I mean, I also got to consider they're 15 years old, so they ain't exactly kittens anymore. Let's see, where the YouTube does not make it, or Facebook does not make it easy to find things you're looking for sometimes. Oh, well, I'm not going to go dig for that. That'll take too long. Who wants to watch 10 minutes of some guy looking for something on his cell phone? What's my favorite snack? It varies from time to time. I've been eating fresh fruit lately, apples and peaches. The peaches around here have been fantastic lately. Um, but I like almonds. I buy almonds in bulk and just snack on those. I like cheese. I'll buy blocks of cheddar cheese and snack on that. If I added any lighting to closets or pantry, what would I recommend? I didn't add it, but the people who lived here before I did had some little automatic lights. They're just battery operated lights that they put in the closets. And basically, when you open the door, they come on automatically. Those are pretty cool. And I've kind of kept those going. There's a couple of them in the storm shelter too. Skinny pig on your lap eating an apple. It's not going to be a skinny pig long, huh? Hmm. I slept pretty well last night. Oh, the skin's the best part. Drooling here, my mouth leaks. The only thing that's sort of a drag with the peaches is that they're a little less than ripe when you get them at the store. So you got to keep them in a paper bag for a couple of days, let them ripen a little. But then they're good. Then you get them in the fridge and they're good for a few days. I like apples too because apples you can put them in there and they'll stay in the fridge for a long time and they'll stay good for a long time. Haven't really done anything with Halloween yet, short of what I did that vlog on a couple weeks ago. But we're pretty much getting ready. In fact, one of the things I think I got to do this week because Silo of Scream starts on Friday night, so we're coming close to the rollout here, and I got to take a trip down there. I'm going to probably do that in the next couple of days and talk to John about what my role is going to be this year. I told him last year that because of my work schedule, I wasn't going to be able to work Fridays and Saturdays anymore. That's just too long of 2 days. 2 days are too long doing that, 18, 19, 20-hour days. I can't do that anymore. And I made myself sick last year. So I'm going to just do Saturdays this year. And because of that, I'm not going to be the dentist this year because he wants kind of consistency in that role, and he wants somebody that's going to be there every night. So I got to figure out what I'm going to do this year. And like I said, got only a couple days now to figure that out. So yeah, peaches are awesome when they're juicy and sweet. But sometimes when you get them, they're hard and they're not that sweet yet. It's got almost the consistency of an apple. It definitely needs a few days to ripen. I don't know. We haven't Jordan and I haven't talked about that. All I know is that the concert's coming up here, and we're going to both do it. Becky, you sent me a text earlier this week that there was a possibility that Willie Nelson was going to be there because I guess his son is opening. So Jordan was very excited about that. I think peaches are worth the trouble of waiting a few days to get them, but I understand. They don't last long once they're ripe, so you don't want to have them in the store and have them all go bad on you. I'm looking forward to doing Halloween this year. It's going to be fun. I'm already sort of planning in my head how I want to do things. Looking at the tree situation to figure out, okay, where am I going to hang the dummy? Where am I going to? I think I'm going to maybe use one of those big, tall things that I had hanging from the house, but I think I'm going to have them hanging from the tree this year. I think that's big enough that I can get him high enough off the ground that he'll still be kind of a scary and intimidating thing in the tree. I've been sleeping well because you're being a history nerd. You're paying attention to what's going on in Britain. Yeah, yeah. I won't probably watch the funeral either. I haven't seen anything yet. I mean, the Queen was a very special person. She was really good for England, but I'm not that into the story. It's sad that she's dead, but she lived a long time too. It does take a while to set things up. And usually with Halloween, it isn't like Christmas. With Christmas, I'll set it up, Thanksgiving weekend, and and then let it run through New Year's. But Halloween is one day and one day only. So I usually set it up Halloween day and tear it down the next day. That's just how that works. I admired her because she kind of stayed out of politics a little bit. And I think, more people need to do that, especially people who have influence. Unfortunately, I don't see the new king doing the same thing. King Chuck. Because he hasn't really stayed out of politics even as a prince. How long have I worked Silo of Screams now? It's basically been since I've lived here. So I think this is going to be my fourth year. Can you believe it's been 4 years since I moved here? What was it, three? No, it's been four. Well, 30 different inflatables for Halloween, for the 30 days of Halloween, huh? I've worked with the inflatables. I've never really, I mean, I had a few of them in my yard for Christmas, but I didn't really like the inflatables that much. They didn't stand up very well. Um, and that sort of became an issue. Now, I think it started way before Harry and Meghan. I think it started with Charles. As a kid, you always thought princes were supposed to be handsome. You blame Disney. It is. It's all Disney's fault. I heard the queue to walk past the Queen's coffin is 14 hours long. Yeah, no thanks. Yeah, Rhonda said the same thing. David Beckham stood in line for 14 hours. Yeah, not worth it. I mean, not that I'm ragging on anybody that feels that it is worth it. That's just my opinion. Do what you want. If that's important to you to process past the Queen's casket, then more power to you. Rhonda would stand in line. There we go. And talk everyone's ear off in the process. See, that's how Rhonda would get to the line faster. She'd talk to everyone and say, "Oh man, I can't stand this. I'm out of here." And they'd all leave, and then she'd just walk to the front of the line. Right? That's how it worked, Rhonda. Right? I think it's better when people do remain apolitical, because no matter which side you take, you're going to make half the world unhappy. Yeah, I suppose I can understand that. We don't have monarchy here in the U.S., and so yeah, we don't recognize that the way people from England would. Yeah, I know you pretty well, Rhonda. You up at 2 a.m. to watch the funeral. It's tradition, but this is the end of the monarchy. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't think there's going to be another Queen Elizabeth or anyone like that, or king for that matter. She was just such a classy person. And I don't know. I mean, William and Kate seem pretty level-headed. They seem, at least from what little I know of them, you know, they seem to be kind of my image of what I think, what royalty should be. But yeah, but you're right, Ron. I don't see Charles being that. And you're right. I don't know if how long he'll be around. He's not going to hang into what 96. Isn't that what she did? Elizabeth was 96. I doubt that Charles is going to remain apolitical, though. Yeah, that could be. That could be 6, 7 years. That wouldn't surprise me. I don't really know that much about Camilla or Camilla or whatever, however it's pronounced. Just as long as it's not Harry and Meghan. You almost got to feel sorry for Harry, though. You got to almost wonder. It seems like almost like a hostage situation for him. He's like, blink if you're in danger. Yeah, Charles' dad Philip lived to be 99. I know. So who knows? Yeah, I agree. I never really had a whole lot of opinion of any of them, until Megan got involved. I was aware of both of them. They both seem like decent kids, but Megan absolutely ruined him. She's Yoko Ono. I think all Megan did is learn how to make people hate her. The funny thing is, Megan isn't even really a big Hollywood star. I mean, what did she do? She's like a B-lister. But yeah, she's definitely a social climber. I've never seen anything she's in, so I can't even judge her. But I'd never heard of her until she latched onto Harry. Yeah, I don't really have an opinion one way or another about giving Charles a chance. Whatever. I never was really impressed with him at all. Yeah, I suppose if you're outside of Hollywood, then it seems really glamorous, even if you're a very small part of it. But yeah, okay, well, yeah, she was on. I don't even know what she was on. So John's saying she was in Suits on cable TV. You saw a couple episodes. Okay, you're a couple of episodes ahead of me then. She lived in Canada for 3 years when she shot Suits. Okay. Yeah, I'm sort of the same way. I'm not really into names anyway. Yeah, I think you're right, Rhonda. We've gone our 2 hours here, so I think I'm going to wrap this one up. Oops, I got to stop beating up the laptop here. I depend on those to do the live stream here. You can't do that anymore. So anyway, I'm going to wrap this one up. Thanks, everyone. I'll see you next week. Oh, one more announcement here. Like I said, we're starting Silo of Screams next week, and it'll be going every Saturday on in October, except for the first one. I'm going to the concert. So it's possible as we get closer and closer to Halloween, um, I may do live streams later and later in the day because as we get closer to Halloween, there's more and more people going to Silo of Screams, and that means we're going to be there later and later at night, and so I may need more time to sleep it off at night. So don't be surprised if the live streams don't start precisely at 11 o'clock in upcoming weeks until we get past Silo Screams. It may be 2, 3, 4 hours late. So I'll try and keep you in the loop on what the times are going to be, but that's going to be an issue for the next month or so. So just be aware. Thanks, everyone. Have a good night. See ya.